Hello, my name is Marciava Warrell. I'm one of the elementary ISSs here in the Pacific South. Today I'm going to share with you several resources to help make your planning for science this year easier than ever before. So for starters, I want you to find your PAC South Elementary Teachers team in Microsoft Teams. Once you've arrived at the team, on the main feed, you'll see there is a link that Dr. Ryan has uploaded that says General Educators SharePoint. Once you click this link, it's going to take you to a welcome screen. And on this welcome screen, you're going to go to the top and hover over grade level and choose your grade level. Today, we're going to click on fourth grade. Once I've clicked on fourth grade, if I scroll down, I have several options here. I can go to my fourth grade standards. I can take a look at my fourth grade curriculum map, which is a great opportunity for you to see some of the basic pacing for all four main content areas: math, science, literacy, and social studies. And you'll see here that it does give you approximate days for each one of the sections. Also, you'll see that there are some key areas for each content. There's science instruction as well. And if you click this one, it does give you basic information about the three dimensions of science. It talks about building a science community, how to have active investigations, various ways to look at the materials needed, information on seeking ways to have sense-making discussions, and also about science notebooking. And you'll see there are various other sets of information here to include live organisms, science safety, and even materials for our AOs and our SSAs about how to purchase curricular materials. Also on the page, you'll see our Schoology codes and some additional resources. Within this additional resources, the last one here you'll see talks about common paced assessments. This is a common pace assessment guide for each grade band, each grade level. Within this particular set, you'll see there is materials and information listed for FOSS testing, which is new for us here this year. For FOSS testing, we'll scroll down to that page, and you'll see it tells us what standards are assessed, information about accommodations, the science testing window. As you know, we start out with life science from the beginning of the year to approximately around Halloween. Once you finished around Halloween, then you would give the life science post-test, with that window being November to December. Then you would begin the physical science, and that window for testing you should finish around Valentine's Day is February to March. And then once you finish that, you would start Earth and Space Science with a testing window of May to June. Now, this post-test is already at your disposal, and I will show you where to locate those here shortly. But this guidance, again, is found in the Common Pace Assessment Guidance. This is just a quick look at some of the other materials also on the page that are available to you. Again, this SharePoint link is from the Teams page. The next item I want to show you, also in the Teams channel, is our Pacific South Science website. To gain access there, again, we're in the Elementary Teams channel. Under the General section, you're going to scroll across the top and you're going to see PAC South ES SharePoint. Now, I generally open this in a browser. It's easier to view. So if you click the caret, you'll go to Open in Browser. And you're going to scroll down the page until you see DoDEA Pacific Elementary Science. Now, I can tell you once you've opened this, you can bookmark it, and it's a lot easier to find later. So I'm going to click that box, and it's going to open up the PAC South Elementary Science page. I generally try my hardest to keep information updated here as I receive it. And you'll see that it does get updated pretty often. So you'll see currently our classrooms, kindergarten is in Animals 2x2. Our first grade is in Plants and Animals. Second is in Insects and Plants. Third is in Structures of Life. Fourth is in Environments. And fifth is in Living Systems. Each one of the content areas of information that I'm able to currently provide are listed here. So the one I want to draw the most attention to is the one that says Curriculum Materials. So if we click Curriculum Materials, You'll see there's three main documents here. One of them is building a science community. One is information about the live curricular materials. And then the last one is information about disposal of the live materials. So if I click this second one, which is the one that you will probably find most beneficial at this point, it gives us an overview of which animals each grade level receives and on which week. And if you scroll to this section, it actually gives you the tentative dates. So right now, we are currently in this week. So for this week, only fourth grade received materials. They received their goldfish, their guppies, their snails, their water plants, and the gammaris. The next shipment won't come until September 22nd through the 26th. We've tried to ask for shipments to arrive on Tuesdays and Thursdays since we're generally in school on those days. And so far, most of the schools have gotten them as we've asked. So this particular week, kindergarten will receive their goldfish, their guppies, and water plants. And second grade will receive silkworm eggs and silkworm food that week. The following week, so the following shipment won't come until October 13th. So there's a couple of weeks here in between where no one receives anything. So October 13th is when our third grade teachers will receive Madagascar hissing cockroaches. First grade will receive pill bugs and soap bugs, and kinder will receive their pond snails and ram's horn snails. And then each week, like I said, it lists what's available. The big piece here to remember is even though first grade doesn't receive their animals until this point, that they will need to start their seed project to grow the habitat for their pill bugs and soap bugs prior to this date. So they've got a couple of weeks to get those growing. And then also in this document, it gives us some basic background information about each set of animals and how to take care of them, what type of habitat they need, and so forth. This information is also available in your teacher edition guide as well. The last thing that I want to show you is how to access resources for your program digitally and also where to find your assessments. So if you log into ClassLink and you click the Think link, it's going to take you to a page that looks sort of like this. Mine does look slightly different because I have all the books. You should only have 1 to 3. So whatever grade level you have dictates which 3 that you'll add to your dashboard. If you need assistance on how to add them, please do email me or send me a Teams message and I'm happy to support. So the one we're going to take a look at is, again, fourth grade environments. So to open up all the materials that I need for this particular domain, I'm going to simply click the book. And it's going to open up a huge menu of options. So the very first thing that I want to show you is where to find your teacher edition copy. It's the investigation guide here. You would simply click open and it opens up into an interactive PDF. The next item is your teaching slides with your anchor phenomenon because we always start there. And then your word wall cards, you can use and print these to support your students' domain-specific vocabulary in the classroom. Then if we scroll down to assessment, you'll look right here where it says Assessment Masters. Now, if you're teaching grades 3, 4, and 5, we've asked that you provide that post-test to your students, again, in the times I mentioned earlier. You can give that same post-test as a survey or what we would consider a pre-test, and I do encourage that, though it is not required. However, if you're going to choose to give the survey as a pre-test, I would highly recommend that you give it on paper pencil so that, one, your students just get used to the questions before we even introduce the online platform to them, but also so you're able to give feedback in the written response piece. It's a little easier for you to be able to just write on the papers. The other piece to remember is that you do also have iChecks available to you in all of the grades from K to 5. Again, iChecks are not required, but they are highly encouraged. So once I go right here to Assessment Masters, I'm going to go to Language and English, and it's going to open up a new window. And the very first thing you see here is that survey post-test I mentioned. This would be the test that you would give on paper as a pre-test if you choose to. It is also the same test that you're going to give as a post-test in that mentioned time frame, but when you give the post test, you're going to give it online only. That way, headquarters is able to see the data, you're able to have the data gathered, and then I am also able to see the data here at the district office along with the other ISSs. This particular post test, you'll see, has some multiple choice, has some constructive response, a few other types of questions, another constructive response, yet another one, and some more multiple choice, and that's where it stops. So you can see this first post test, while it is only 13 questions, there's various different types of questions, and we want students to be exposed to those early on. The eye checks are similar, but sometimes the eye checks are actually longer. So you'll see this eye check starts off with a constructive response, has some multiple choice and charts, more constructive response, and then stops right here. And while it only has 9 questions, you notice many of them are constructive response and not multiple choice. So the idea is that if a student is able to work through the eye checks, they should be able to work through the post test as well. So again, we do recommend those as you have time for those. Okay, if we click exit preview, it'll take us back to the screen. To look at our answer key, we're going to go right here to Assessment Coding Guides. Again, we're going to select English, and the important thing to note here is not only does it provide the answers to the post tests, it provides the answers to the eye checks here, but it also provides your rubric for any of the constructive response. So you'll see the highlight in blue is the answer, and then here is a constructive response rubric. These are specific to each question. So you want to make sure that you're using the correct rubric for that question. It's not like a one-size-fits-all rubric. And so you'll see it tells you here what the student should have been able to do. The great piece is it does tell you what standard it aligns to. And this is important because as we progress through those standards-based report cards in the future, this will help you determine whether or not a student has mastered that skill as you're thinking about how to report that out on the report card. So I think that's a great feature. And again, this has even the short answer ones as well and the yes or no questions. So this is where your answer keys are. Again, we're going to exit. And you'll see then within each investigation, you have module resources, which have those same items I showed you earlier, but also has all of your notebook teacher masters. So all of those half sheets that go in the science notebooks can be found here. And also, as you scroll down to each investigation, it'll give you the survey. This is the one that's available here in English, and then you have one in Spanish. And then for each part, it has teacher prep videos, it has teaching slides, it has the word wall cards, the focus questions for you to print. It also has all of the notebook masters as well. And then, of course, again, those surveys and post tests are here as well. You will find that most of these will have any included videos or simulations that you need to help with the lesson. Down here at the very bottom, you'll see the planning guide, and I do think this is a great read if you have time, where it walks you through how to plan out the units or the investigations, the domains for each one of the pieces throughout the year. This is not information that's currently available in your print materials because these were created after we had purchased them, but they are available here. There is some background on three-dimensional teaching and learning if that's fairly new to you when we talk about the sense-making discussions and the scientific and engineering practices, the cross-cutting concepts. All of those things may be new to you, and this is a great way to learn more about them. And lastly, the family resources, where we have those letters to send home where you can keep your parents abreast of the things that their students are working on in class. So I do hope that this was helpful in helping you locate your resources and answering a couple of questions about assessments. If you have any additional questions, I am always happy to help. Please do feel to reach out to me, and happy sciencing. Bye-bye.